Have you ever wondered what lies hidden in plain sight, just beyond your reach? What if there was a city that no one remembered, a place that disappeared long ago, only to be found by those daring enough to search for it? This is the story of a lost city, a city that lived, died, and is now calling to those who dare to listen. Our story begins with a man named Lucas. He was an ordinary man, or so he thought. An archaeologist by trade, Lucas had always been fascinated by ancient cities, forgotten places that held the whispers of lost civilizations. But one day, his life would change forever. It all began with an old, dusty map. A map that led to a place no one had ever dared to explore, a bridge that seemed to defy time itself. No one knew it existed, but the legend of the Vanishing City had been passed down in hushed tones for centuries. Lucas stared at the map, tracing his finger along its faded lines. The city was marked, but not on any ordinary place. It was beneath a bridge, hidden deep within a forgotten valley. The map's edges were frayed, the ink almost lost to time, but it was clear enough to ignite the fire of adventure within him. It was a clue, a key to unlocking the past, and Lucas couldn't resist. He spent weeks poring over ancient texts, cross-referencing every symbol and every faded inscription on the parchment. His study became an obsession, a relentless pursuit of a legend that most of his colleagues dismissed as folklore. But Lucas felt a connection to this map, a pull he couldn't explain. He believed the map wasn't just a guide, it was an invitation. After weeks of tireless research, Lucas packed his gear. He knew this journey would be unlike any he had undertaken before. He boarded a train, the rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the track a steady drumbeat marking his advance toward the unknown. The landscape outside his window transformed from bustling cityscapes to rugged, untamed wilderness. Mountains clawed at the sky, and dense forests whispered secrets on the wind. The train eventually slowed, its whistle echoing through the silence before screeching to a halt at a long-abandoned station. The air here was different, heavy with the weight of forgotten time. Lucas stepped onto the platform, his gaze drawn to the horizon where an ancient stone bridge stretched across a wide, churning river. This was it. Lucas arrived at the bridge, the one that had haunted his dreams for weeks. It looked ordinary at first, worn by time and weather, but something about it felt different. The air was thick with a sense of waiting, as though the bridge had been waiting for him, and only him, to cross. He took a cautious step forward, his boots crunching on the gravel path. The stonework of the bridge was massive, each block expertly fitted, a testament to its forgotten builders. Moss and ivy clung to its sides, but beneath the greenery he could make out faint, intricate patterns that weren't just decorative. They felt intentional, almost like a language. He walked to the center of the span, the river roaring below, and looked out over the valley. It was beautiful, but also strangely desolate. It was as if this place existed just outside the modern world, a pocket of history untouched and unseen. He felt a deep sense of solitude, but he wasn't afraid. He was exactly where he was meant to be. As he stepped onto the bridge, Lucas felt a sudden chill. The air grew still, and the stones beneath his feet seemed to hum with a low, resonant frequency. He placed his hand on the railing, and to his surprise, the stone shifted. It wasn't a loose block, it moved with mechanical precision. A hidden door slowly creaked open, revealing a passage beneath the bridge. The city, the Vanishing City, was not lost at all. He had been waiting for someone to find it. The opening was dark, a gaping mouth leading into the earth. A cool, musty draft flowed out, carrying the scent of damp stone and something else, something ancient and indescribable. Lucas hesitated for only a moment. This was the point of no return. With a deep breath, he ignited his torch, the flame flickering to life and casting dancing shadows against the entrance. The path was real. The legend was true. He took the first step down. Lucas descended into the depths of the earth, feeling both awe and fear grip him. The walls were covered in strange markings, depicting figures he couldn't identify. The deeper he went, the more the air seemed to thicken, as though something ancient and powerful was stirring beneath the surface. But his determination to uncover the truth kept him moving forward. The passage was a spiral staircase carved directly from the living rock. The torchlight revealed intricate carvings that covered every inch of the walls. They weren't just random symbols, they told a story. He saw images of people with strange abilities, manipulating light and energy. He saw celestial patterns that didn't match any known constellations. He saw depictions of a grand city built in harmony with nature. The artistry was breathtaking, far beyond anything he had ever seen from recorded history. The air grew heavier with each step, and a faint, rhythmic sound began to echo from the depths below. It was a soft, pulsating thrum, like a giant, sleeping heart. He knew he was getting closer. And then he saw it. The city, alive with the pulse of a forgotten time, stood before him. Streets carved from stone, buildings that seemed to reach towards the heavens, and in the center, a towering structure, the heart of the Vanishing City. But there was something more. An eerie silence hung in the air, as if the city itself was holding its breath, waiting for lookers to uncover its secret. He had emerged into a colossal cavern, illuminated by a soft, ethereal glow emanating from the crystals embedded in the ceiling. The city was vast, spreading out before him in a breathtaking panorama of impossible architecture. Towers spiraled upwards, connected by delicate, arching bridges. Fountains of glowing liquid cascaded down sculpted walls. The streets were wide and clean, yet utterly empty. There were no signs of decay or ruin. It was as if its inhabitants had simply stepped away a moment ago. The pulsating hum he'd heard was stronger here, emanating from the central temple. The silence was unnerving, a perfect, pristine city with no one in it. The temple was magnificent, its walls covered in glowing symbols that told the story of the city's rise and fall. It had been a place of power, a center for knowledge and magic, but the people who lived there had disappeared, leaving only their secrets behind. And then Lucas understood. The city had not vanished, it had been hidden, waiting for the right person to uncover its truth. As he entered the grand temple, the symbols on the walls brightened, reacting to his presence. They flowed like rivers of light, forming images and telling a coherent narrative. He learned of a civilization that had mastered a form of energy that connected them to the very fabric of the universe. They were peaceful, wise, and powerful. But their power drew unwanted attention from a destructive force from beyond the stars. To protect their knowledge in themselves, they didn't flee or fight. They made the ultimate sacrifice. They transformed their physical forms into pure energy, embedding their consciousness into the city itself, placing it in a state of temporal stasis, hidden from the world and their enemies, waiting for a descendant, one who carried their bloodline, to return and reawaken them. The map was a key, but only he was the lock. Lucas stood in the heart of the Vanishing City, his mind racing with the implications of his discovery. The city was real, but its secrets were far from ordinary. As he left the temple, he realized that his life would never be the same. The world had changed, and so had he. The bridge, the city, and the secrets it held were now his responsibility. And he had only just begun to uncover the truth. He looked at his own hands, seeing them not as the hands of a simple archaeologist, but as the hands of a guardian, a link between a lost past and an uncertain future. The humming of the city seemed to sync with his own heartbeat. He wasn't just an observer anymore. He was a part of this place. The city wasn't just waiting for someone to find it. It was waiting for him. And now that he had arrived, a new chapter was beginning, not just for him, but for the entire world. What would he do with this knowledge? How could one man protect a secret of this magnitude? The path ahead was unknown, but for the first time in his life, Lucas felt truly alive, on the cusp of a destiny far greater than he could have ever imagined. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what happens next.